The Keeper of Lost Stories. In a quiet corner of the world, nestled between misty mountains and ancient forests, there stood a small, forgotten village named Eldoria. The villagers led simple lives, tending to their crops, raising their families, and weaving tales by the fireside. The library was no ordinary one. It was said to house not just books, but every story ever told, every legend ever whispered, and every dream ever dreamt. The villagers believed that stories, once spoken, never really disappeared. Instead, they found their way to the library, where they were kept safe by the Keeper of Lost Stories. The keeper was an enigmatic figure, rarely seen by the villagers. Some said he was as old as time itself, others believed he was a spirit, bound to the library for eternity. His duty was simple yet profound, to preserve the stories of the world, so that they would never be lost, no matter how much time passed. One day, a young girl named Arya, curious and adventurous, decided to visit the library. She had heard countless tales about it, but had never dared to venture inside. With a heart full of excitement and a hint of fear, she approached the towering doors of the library. To her surprise, they creaked open as she touched them, as if inviting her in. Inside, the library was vast, with endless shelves stretching out into the darkness. Books of all shapes and sizes lined the walls, their spines glowing softly with an otherworldly light. But what caught Arya's attention was a faint sound, a whisper, like the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. She followed the sound, weaving through the aisles until she reached the center of the library. There, sitting at an ancient wooden desk, was the keeper. He was a tall, slender figure, draped in robes that seemed to shimmer with the colors of the night sky. His face was obscured by a hood, but Arya could feel his gaze upon her. "Welcome, child," the keeper's voice was gentle, yet it echoed through the vast library. "What brings you to this place?" "I wanted to see the stories," Arya replied, her voice trembling slightly. "I want to know the stories that have been forgotten." The keeper nodded slowly. "Stories are powerful things, young one. They shape our world, our lives, our very souls. But not all stories are With a wave of his hand, a book floated down from one of the high shelves and landed gently before Arya. The cover was plain, with no title, but it seemed to pulse with a soft, warm light. "This," the keeper said, "is a story that has been waiting for you." Arya hesitated for a moment before opening the book. As she did, she was enveloped in a swirl of light and color. She found in this world, she was the heroine, tasked with saving a kingdom from a terrible curse. She encountered strange creatures, solved riddles, and faced her deepest fears. The journey was long and arduous, but with each challenge, Arya grew stronger and more determined. Finally, after what felt like years, she stood before the source of the curse, the dark, twisted figure that represented all the forgotten. As the darkness lifted, the world around her began to dissolve, and Arya found herself back in the library, the book closed before her. She looked up at the keeper, who was watching her with a hint of a smile. "Every story has a purpose," the keeper said softly. "Some teach us, some heal us, and some help us discover who we truly are." Arya felt a warmth in her heart, a sense of completion she had never known before. She understood now that stories were not just tales to be told, they were experiences, lessons, and memories that shape the very essence of who we are. With a grateful bow, Arya left the library, the keeper's words echoing in her mind. She knew she would return one day, to explore more stories, to live more lives, and to uncover the endless wonders that the keeper of lost stories guarded so faithfully. And so, the village of Eldoria continued on, with its mysterious library at its heart, a place where stories, both old and new, would forever be cherished and kept alive.